Welcome to SENS Talk. My name is Brandon, and I am your host. Before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at SENSTalk_ for live to updates of the games and, of course, breaking news. As well, please check out our website, senstalkcentral.com, and, of course, please check out cjohn.ca using the code SENSTalk to get discounts on any ticket on the website in Canadian dollars. So if you want tickets to Jets games or Leaf games, cjohn.ca, or even any other team in Canadian dollars, cjohn.ca using the code SENSTalk will get you discounts to those tickets. This is Round 1 Stanley Cup Playoffs 2018 preview. We're going to go through the East first, so let's get it started with the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the New Jersey Devils. So this series is pretty interesting because I don't think anyone would have expected the New Jersey Devils to be in a playoff spot. This is the first time the New Jersey Devils are in a playoff spot and competing for a Stanley Cup since 2012. In 2012, led by Martin Brodeur, they lost to the Los Angeles Kings in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, I don't know if they can do just that, because they don't have Corey Schneider playing top-level hockey. Currently, Keith Kincaid has led the way recently, and, even though the Tampa Bay Lightning have not played well as of late, they've won 25 out of their last 20-something games, so at second half season, they have not been as lethal as they started out. The goaltending concerns go both ways. Schneider not playing good hockey, so Keith Kincaid has really stepped up, and congrats to him. He pushed the team to clinch a playoff spot, but he has limited experience in professional playoff hockey. His only experience was for the Albany Devils, and they lost that series in 4 games, a sweep. I'm not saying the Devils can't do it. They have the skill. They got Taylor Hall. They got Nico Hischier. They got Will Butcher in the back end. So they got some nice pieces. But I don't think it's the year for the Devils. I think it's way too early, but I think they're going to be good. The Bolts' speed and skill should kill the Devils. I say the Bolts in 6. We move on now to quite possibly one of the most evenly matched first rounders in the whole Stanley Cup field. Right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Boston Bruins, a rematch of 2014, where the Bruins came back down 3 goals to beat the Leafs in Game 7 in overtime. This series is going to come down to special teams. It all comes down to special teams. Both teams are in the top 10 for penalty kill and power play. So, either team, the only way they're going to win the series is keeping their power plays and penalty kill at the top. As well, the goaltending. Tuukka Rask has to be on top of his game, and Frederik Andersen needs to stay consistent. I'm currently saying the Bruins in 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Leafs pulled this one out. They're too comparable, but I think the Bruins have been on fire the whole season after November, and I think they're going to make a run towards the later round. So Bruins in 7. The Washington Capitals and the Columbus Blue Jackets is an interesting series because both teams are skilled offensively. The Blue Jackets, Pierre-Luc Dubois has really turned into a nice center. Artemi Panarin has obviously worked out for the Blue Jackets, and Bobrovsky, like usual in the regular season, is one of the best goalies in the league. The problem with the Columbus Blue Jackets is Bobrovsky, for some reason, can't play playoff hockey. So a lot of series comes down to this. But the Capitals are in the same situation. Holtby has been awful the past couple of months. So Grubauer is starting Game 1. He has limited to no experience at all in playoff hockey. So it's going to come down to the goaltending, where can Grubauer or Holtby play playoff hockey? And can Bobrovsky find form? If Bobrovsky can find form, the Washington Capitals are in trouble. Ovechkin needs to power the Capitals over the edge here. I think that Bobrovsky will find it, especially with the goaltending difficulties of the Capitals. I say the Jackets are going to win this one in 6. The Battle of Pennsylvania this year is going to be a back-and-forth battle for goals, as the goaltending for both teams has not been good. Peter Mrazek, not very consistent. Brian Elliott is mediocre at best. Matt Murray has had a very subpar season, just above 900 save percentage this season, and without a backup goalie, just Casey DeSmith or Tristan Jarry, the Penguins really need to rely on Matt Murray if they want to go on a three-peat. Same thing with the Flyers. They got Nolan Patrick, they got Wayne Simmons, they got Claude Giroux, they got Voracek, etc. They got some very nice pieces. But the problem is the Penguins have just as many good pieces, if not better. Kessel, Malkin, Crosby, Brassard, etc. The Penguins' center depth is going to win them the series. They're going to win this win in 7 games, in my opinion. But I would not be surprised if if the Flyers pulled this one out and won this one 6 or 7 as well. It really all comes down to who can score more goals. So Penguins in 7. Moving on to the Western Conference now, where the best team and the President's Trophy winner, Nashville Predators, take on the Colorado Avalanche. Just 1 year ago, the Colorado Avalanche were at the bottom of the league and one of the worst records in NHL history. They find themselves now in a playoff series with the best team in the league in the regular season. The Avs got hit with some major injuries. Semyon Varlamov is out and Eric Johnson is out. Their top goaltender and their top defenseman. The Avalanche should just be happy they're in the playoffs. The Predators are solid all around. Offense, defense, goaltending. They got a solid goalie, a Vezina caliber goalie. They got the best defense in the league, and they have a very elite center and wing core. The offense, defense, goaltending is all elite. You know what? If the Avs are going to get anything out of this playoffs, it's going to be giving the Av rookies some playoff experience. Mikko Rantanen with 80-plus points this year. Nathan McKinnon, a Hart Trophy candidate. So if the Avs want to do anything, they're going to rely on the rookies. But all in all, the Preds are just too dominant. They're going to win this series in 5. For the first time in a few years, the Winnipeg Jets are back in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They're taking on the Minnesota Wild, and you know what? The Winnipeg Jets finally making it back to the playoffs. They are the second best team in the Western Conference, and quite frankly, if not one of the teams to beat the Nashville Predators. I can't think of another team in the Western Conference that can for sure put up an even battle against the Predators. That team would be the Jets, and that's why the Wild are difficult here. With not even only with the loss of Ryan Sutter, their best defenseman. The Jets are just too powerful offensively. They got Line, they got Scheifele, they got Ehlers, the rookie Kyle Connor, Pal Stastny. I'm missing a few. Like, there's just too many good pieces on the offense for the Jets. Defensively, Trouba is a beast if he's healthy. Dustin Byfuglien, Tyler Myers, etc. That's a solid top 3. And then goaltending, Connor Hellebuck's been this rock-solid goaltender. And if they need a backup, Steve Mason has some experience. So the Jets all around are a well-rounded team, a young, speedy team, and they're the team to beat after the Predators in the Western Conference. So if the Wild are going to do anything, it's going to be Dubnyk and Eric Stahl stealing them a couple of games. But with Sutter out, they really have no chance. Jets are going to win this 1-6. The best expansion team in the history of sports takes on the Los Angeles Kings. The Vegas Golden Knights versus the Los Angeles Kings. And this series has a lot of question marks compared to solid answers. The Vegas Golden Knights, top team in the Pacific Division, winning the Pacific Division this season. But there are a lot of questions. Can William Karlsson replicate his regular season point total? Well, not point total, but point run, like the way he played in the playoffs? Can Riley Smith, John Marchessault, etc. continue their hot play? Can Marc-Andre Fleury find his playoff game with a new team other than Pittsburgh? So the lack of depth for LA, though, after they got Kopitar, etc., Doughty, and then obviously top goaltender in Jonathan Quick, they don't have a lot of depth. So they're going to really need to rely on their top-heavy players, their top 6, and their top 2 pairings, and the goaltender, obviously, in Jonathan Quick. But you know what? I don't see why Vegas, in their first game with a hyped crowd, I don't see why they would stop playing like they've been playing. They've been on fire. They have home ice advantage. I think Quick will steal them a few games. I think the Kings will play pretty well because I think their top end players are going to play to full capabilities because they have that experience. But I think Vegas is going to take it at 7. But don't be surprised if the Kings come out with this series win. And we finally get to the final playoff matchup at the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's the Anaheim Ducks versus the San Jose Sharks. And this series is going to come down to depth. Like many series do in the later rounds, this one right away. Big injuries to Joe Thornton for the Sharks, to Cam Fowler, who's out for a few weeks for the Ducks, and John Gibson, who should be back, but right now is day-to-day. So it will come down to depth. I give the offensive depth to the Sharks with Evander Kane, nice piece there. But if you have to look all-around depth, you got to give it to the Ducks. They have almost even amount of depth offensive-wise with the Sharks. Defensively, one of the better defense pairings in the league, with a good amount of grit. veteran and young presence there. And then goaltending. Let's say John Gibson's out for a couple games. Ryan Miller can step up and win some games for the for the Ducks. So it all comes down to depth. It all comes down to who will be healthy. And you know what? I think it's going to be a battle between the two. Both these teams could go deep, in my opinion. And I think it's going to be a coin toss. But I say the Ducks over the Sharks in 7, just because they have that advantage in depth, in my opinion. And yeah, Ducks in 7. But don't be surprised if Martin Jones wins the series for the Sharks. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I appreciate the support. It's been an awful season for Sens fans, but the Stanley Cup playoffs are here. It's the best time of the season, and let's see who can win the Stanley Cup. We will obviously do a second round live stream preview or video. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on Twitter and stuff. There may be a couple videos during the first round that we upload, so stay tuned for that. But besides that, thank you all for watching. I appreciate the support. Once again, comment below what your predictions are. So thank you all for watching. Please follow us on Twitter @SensTalk_. For live stream updates of the games and, of course, breaking news. Please like us on Facebook, SensTalk. Add us to circles on Google Plus SensTalk. Click the big button down there and subscribe to us. Like this video, share this video wherever you share cool stuff. Please, please, please check our website, SensTalkCenter.com. We update that every single day as well. Please check out our sponsor, SeatGiant.ca. Use the code SENSTALK to get discounts on all tickets available on that website. If you want to get Winnipeg Jets tickets, you want to get Toronto Maple Leaf tickets, all in Canadian dollars, SeatGiant.ca with the code SENSTALK will get you discounts there. Besides that, click right here for the Senators recap season playlist. If you want to watch that, right here for the most recent upload. Right here, subscribe to us, and I'm going to have the playoff playlist right here. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Enjoy the beginning of the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs. Go Sens, go.